This video is going to cover the assignment to send me an email at the very beginning of the school year. What I have here is a class that I'm in. I'm seeing it right now as teacher mode, but I come in here and look at it as if I am a student. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to pick any of my classes that I have right here right now. Classwork. What I can do here is under classwork, the one that I want to work on right now is this email check with Mr. Foreman. Okay. I have a brief description up here that you could read, but really the true information for the assignment can be found underneath the assignment on this Google document. Okay. You're going to have to read through, but I will try and do this step by step as we can. So it's going to be a 5-point assignment that is going to be on a rubric. You must do these things exactly to the letter in order to get yes, a point, or no, not a point. Hopefully a little bit of comment as to why you didn't get it. The rubric that's going to be on this. Okay? Big points you're going to need to do. I have it listed out in steps here. You're going to need to use your @eduhsd.k12.ca.us account, which you should be in Classroom in anyway. That shouldn't be a thing, but to send the email, you also want that. The example I'm going to give right now is using an email address that's outside the school, but you want to make sure that you are logged into Google Chrome using your school credentials. Okay? So let's show how we can do this here. I get to a new tab. Okay? Imagine that this was your persona as a student here. You can click on either Gmail here in a tab in Google Chrome, or there's an application box here. It looks like a kind of a tic-tac-toe grid, 9 things. Ooh, YouTube, not right now. Gmail. Okay? Okay. Here's what the Gmail interface looks like in Google Chrome. I'm actually using this. In this upper corner over here, in the upper left, just below the Gmail icon, is the Compose button. You click on that, and here now is where you would actually compose an email. The to line, well, who are we sending this email to specifically? Oops, wrong thing. Well, you're sending it to me, Mr. Foreman, and here is my email address. If you don't want to do typographical errors and run the risk of that, you can come back to this document. You can hold down your left mouse button, or however you highlight text. If you're on a Windows computer, you would hold down the Control key and the C button, or that copies it to the clipboard, or you can right-click and go copy. Now, clicking directly through here may work depending on what your application is. I was having trouble making this work. If that shows up in blue, maybe a hyperlink you can click on that will also similarly open up a dialog box like this. But now back in the tab that has the email on it, I'm holding down my control button and V. That would do that. If I wanted to do this, I could right click and go paste. Does that same thing. Okay? On this assignment, you are going to also need to carbon copy your parent, one of your parents. You can pick favorites, whether it's your mom, your dad, I don't care. It could even be a grandparent, but you must have somebody else. What is the CC? That stands for carbon copy. They will get the identical. This over here we're not going to use, but if you want to know, that is blind carbon copy. This is kind of if you blind carbon copy somebody on it, these people will not be able to see that you also carbon copy. That's kind of a sneaky thing that maybe not so good, unless it's a mass email to a whole bunch of people. But rarely use that sparingly. Okay. In this case, you could type in some other person. I'm not going to type in anything here, but you can just do a fictitious Palm. If I wanted to send it to Principal Palm or something, right? Okay, but you are going to have to enter in somebody else here in the CC. Okay? So go ask your parents what their email address is if you don't already know. Okay, coming back to the next requirements on this, we have now accomplished step 2, and if you put in the CC, that's step 3. We're now up to step 4. Okay, the subject line. I think I said this in class, similarly to this. About 99.9% of students that I've experienced, and even just a graduated student that I had last year that just sent me an email, did not put a subject in the subject line of the email. This is a bare minimum thing that you are going to want to do. Oops, I just lost my thing. If that happened, well, guess what? I have kind of my video thing in the way. I just accidentally minimized that. If this happens to you, you can go back to full screen. This may work better for you. You can, to click to exit full screen, you can click and shift, or shift click to compose a new window. or you can set screen or say, okay, got it. All right, minimize that down. For me right now, better yet, so you guys see this all here. Okay, subject, all right? I'm very specific with the subject, how you're formatting this, okay? In the subject line, you will follow this format, right? You need to insert your name where appropriate, okay? So again, what I'm going to do to make my life easier is that I'm going to do this, highlighting it. I am now right-clicking on that, and I'm going copy. Coming back here, and in the title, or the subject here, I'm going to go, I right-clicked, and I'm clicking paste. Wait a minute, should I just keep going from here? No, I need to type in my name. In this case, it's going to look a little bit circular. To you all, my first name is Mr., and then last name is Foreman. For you, you would want to put in your actual first name and your last name. Class period, in this case, for the one that I'm filling out right now, is 6th period. Guess what? This is going to make it much easier for me to actually give you credit for this assignment if you follow this structure. You may not get a grade at all if you can't follow this structure, because I may not be able to find your email in the hundreds that I'm about to receive. Okay? All right, so that there is the subject line. Vitally important. After that, what we're going to do, we did that. Oh, the body of the email. Okay? Begin the body of your email with, hello, Mr. Foreman, and in the next sentence, introduce yourself with here. I think I demonstrated this if you were present in class, that it does sort of make sense to copy and paste this. You could get a start with this, Control C, but you're going to have to modify this pretty significantly. Hello, Mr. Foreman. Doesn't really make sense, though, to carry on the email with, and in the next sentence, introduce yourself with. Someone is going to see, oh, and I did a bad job because I had the quotation there. So what I'm doing is taking the time to delete that away, and hit the Enter key so that I'm on a different line down below. This is kind of just standard letter formatting. I am, oh, in this case, Mr. Foreman. But you would put your name there, a student in your 6th period class. You insert the class period that you are actually in. And there should actually be a period there. Oops. Okay, Mr. Foreman. Oop, what is it saying here? Oh, comma as well. A student in your 6th, oops, period, class. I'm going to take a moment, introduce yourself, and answer these questions for you. The period, or I guess the English teachers can give me a hard time. I just put in a colon there. Okay. Well, what are the questions that we're going to be answering? Well, you revert back to the assignment here, and you can take advantage of the copy and paste. Control C. So now you don't forget any questions. You may want to give yourself an enter there to show you where you need to respond. I'm not going to answer all these questions because it would take forever, but be mindful, I'm looking for these incomplete full sentences. That means a subject and a predicate. I'm not an English teacher, I'm an engineering teacher, but knowing how to write full sentences is vitally important in the professional world. So let's practice this. What is your grade level? I am currently a super senior, grade 20. I have a BS manufacturing, oh, wait a minute, engineering degree from Cal Poly SLO. I also have a teaching credential and boatloads of CEU credits, which stand for continuing education credits. I have been in school a very long time. Okay? That's probably answering a lot more than you need to even in that first question. You can probably just answer with, I am a freshman, or I am a 9th grader, equivalent to that, okay? If that is the case, all right? But wait a minute, I'm not doing particularly well here because there are two issues at least, several issues that we've got going on. First of which, let's get the formatting right. I am asking that you highlight answer them in full sentences. Please highlight your responses to the questions with yellow background. Right? If you don't know how to do this, here it is again. Move my video out of the way a little bit. Okay, got that. Oop, wait, block. I need to get notified all the time. Okay, so there is a little tab down here that is currently highlighted for me. If you don't see this bar, it's the A with the underline that says Formatting Options. Click on that. You're going to get this bar. Go to the identical looking font that now on this bar stands for text color. Click on that. I don't want you to change the text color, but rather the background color of the text is going to be this shade of yellow. Okay? But what I need to do first even, highlight the thing that I want to change. Try this again. Ta-da! I've accomplished that. Now, have I done good formatting and grammatical stuff? Well, no. I've misspelled several words, saying senior in grade 20, okay? Manufacturing. I'm right-clicking on these. It's prompted me for a suggestion, okay? As I right-click, engineering. Wow, thank you, Google. It will help autocorrect and do spell checking and grammatical improvements, okay? You go and answer these questions to the best of your ability. Please answer them as honestly as you can, because it will help me to learn a little bit about you all. And then you can sign off. Please sign off the email, as I've asked for, with a closing statement, like regards sincerely or kindly, or in this case, Google auto-suggests as I do this, respectfully. Oh, that's cool. If I type my tab key, it auto-types that in, so I have to do less work in typing. Respectfully, Mr. Foreman. Okay? Ooh. But wait a minute. If at this point you need to come back to this assignment, watch this. It says draft saved up here. If you close this out accidentally, not all hope is lost. Okay? This can help you out. Right? If by chance you accidentally close that out, come back to your drafts tab over here. I have actually 2 drafts of kind of the same thing in process. Oops, this was the most recent one, and I probably should have done, yeah, okay, a long time. Okay, well, I also realized 6, period. Oh, this is one I actually did in class before. No, close that one out and go. Here we go. All right, now I'm back into editing this again. What I want you to do is attach. There are several ways of doing this. Using a phone, using a webcam. There's a lot of different ways of doing this. Capture a picture and an image of yourself, ideally a JPEG. If we struggle with this, we'll touch on it in the next class period to do this. But you have options down here. One is to attach files. May not recommend doing it this way. This is going to go to your browser, or excuse me, your file Explorer if you're in a Windows operating system, or Mac. I'm not sure how it's going to show up. That's one way of doing it. Probably the better way of doing it is insert files using Drive, okay? When you do this, you likely on your phone are going to want to upload the Drive app, download the Drive app to a digital device that you have taken your picture with. If you do that, you're going to see that you could actually share any picture, anything on your phone to Drive. If you use your school account, it will sync into your Google account. Now, I could come in here, I could look then specifically for a picture of myself that I took. If I share it on my phone to Drive, it will show up here somewhere in your Drive. Okay? What I would recommend then doing, don't do it as a Drive link, but click over here to an attachment, okay, if you do it that way. You're going to have to be a little bit crafty on your own and maybe do a Google search of how to upload an image to a Gmail email. Okay? All right, I'm going to close this out. What you would then do at this point, you're going to click the send button. That's going to come flying through. Click on send. The email will actually get sent to me, to my school email address. And you can actually see here for a moment, if I do this carefully, I'm going to preview what we have coming in. Oh, we've got all these people that have turned in surveys and stuff from this year. There's that again. Okay, I'm changing over my account to be Mr. Foreman officially. And you can actually see that a number of students have emailed me their actual assignments already. Oh, using Cam Scanner, someone got images, and I can see immediately here there is an image attached to that, okay, which is looking good. But what you are going to not want to forget to do, back to what it looks like from you as a student with this email. You sent me the email. Be mindful. Do not forget, as I've highlighted here on step number 9, back in classroom, mark this assignment as done. It is then going to show up in my queue as I am a teacher here, 6th period, to show that your assignment is ready. Oh, a couple people have actually turned in and are waiting to get graded and checked on. If you neglect to do that, it's not going to show. If you forget to do that, mark is complete. See how these ones are blank? Samuel Snow did hit his actual mark is complete, and it's ready for grade. Okay? That is how to accomplish this assignment. Once you get feedback from me, it will be under the form of this rubric that I'm testing out this year and will likely be using in the future. Okay? So as this goes, that is how to accomplish the email assignment if you missed it in class.